What's this? A letter for me.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports Through the Mail Thursdays. Today I'm going to share with you 3 recent returns that I just got back in the mail and profile each of the individuals that signed for me. So the first return is from Tampa, Florida. It is former Major League pitcher and prospect for the New York Yankees, Domingo Jean, Domingo Jean, Domingo Jean. I'm not really sure how to say it, so if somebody that's a Yankees fan can correct me, I'm not trying to butcher his name, but as a Midwest kid in the 1990s, Domingo Jean is what I called him, but I know that's probably not right, so we're just going to go with Domingo here, and we'll move forward. So let me tell you about Domingo and his career in baseball. So Domingo's full name is actually Domingo Jean Loaiza, and he grew up in the Dominican Republic, and Domingo was originally signed by the Chicago White Sox as an amateur free agent in 1989. In 1990, he began his professional career with the GCL White Sox. In 1991, he was promoted up to the South Bend White Sox, their A affiliate, but after the 1991 season, he was actually packaged in a deal that sent him to the New York Yankees for Steve Sax. So this is how Steve Sax was traded from the Yankees to the White Sox. The following year, in 1992, Domingo was assigned to the Fort Lauderdale Yankees. He pitched most of the year there, although at the end of the season, he was promoted to Double-A, the Albany County Yankees, for 1 start. In 1993, the Yankees moved him on the fast pace through their minor league system, making stops at 3 different minor league places. And on August 8th of 1993, Domingo made his major league debut. He started that game against the Twins, pitching 6 2/3 innings and giving up 4 runs. Although Domingo did not get a decision, the Yankees won the game 8-6. Almost a week later, on August 14th, Domingo made his New York Yankee Stadium debut. The funny thing is, on his Major League debut, Domingo, who had never been in a large city like New York, actually was stuck in traffic in a taxi and was late for his time to be at the stadium. So he paid the fare with what cash he had on hand, and he ran to the New York side from New Jersey. He sought a ride from a stranger living nearby, and that stranger drove him close to Yankee Stadium, and Domingo showed up just 45 minutes before he was to take his first pitch. Well, he pitched 5 innings that day and gave up 2 runs and got a no decision, but the Yankees again won the game. He earned his first Major League win on August 20th over the Kansas City Royals, pitching 7 innings and giving up just 2 runs. He finished the season with a record of 1-1 with a 4.46 ERA that year. After that season, Domingo was traded to the Houston Astros. Domingo opened the 1994 season in the minor leagues for Tucson. However, due to some injuries, he appeared in just 6 games. The following year, he started the season with Tucson, but was then traded to the Texas Rangers. He was assigned to the Oklahoma City 89ers, the AAA for the Rangers, where he pitched as both a starter and reliever. His record dipped to just 3 wins and 8 losses, and his ERA to 6.14. Late in that season, the Cincinnati Reds acquired him from the Texas Rangers. In 1996, with the Reds, Domingo was converted to a full-time reliever, and they sent him back down to Double-A to Chattanooga. This was successful because he compiled 31 saves in just 39 appearances that year for Chattanooga. The next year, in 1997, he returned to Chattanooga, but the magic was gone. He posted a 9.75 ERA in 10 games, and the Reds decided to let him go. Signing on with the Colorado Rockies after spending the 1998 season with their organization, Domingo signed to play in the Independent League, the Bridgeport Bluefish, in 1999. In 2000, The Yankees gave him a second try, and he returned to the Yankees organization where he spent the next 3 seasons between Double-A, Norwich, and their Triple-A affiliate Columbus. In 2003, Domingo pitched his last professional season pitching in the Mexican League. So, if you followed this story, Domingo's overall pitching record was 1 win and 1 loss in the major leagues. Little did Domingo know that when he was traded from the Yankees, that would be the last time he would ever pitch in the major leagues. Domingo hung on for many years, all the way through 2003, playing in the Mexican League, just never getting that shot again to go to the majors. So the reason I decided to write Domingo was this was probably at the peak of when I was collecting cards. And if anybody grew up in the 90s, they remember these ugly 92 Bowman cards where they showed a lot of guys in their street clothes or their high school graduation photos or whatever they were doing back then. And Domingo was in the packs along with the Derek Jeters and the Mariano Riveras and the Johnny Damons and the Nomar Garcia Perez, all the Chase rookie cards, the hot rookies at the time. Domingo was right there with them. And whenever you have a Yankee and you pull it out, you're like, wow, man, this is got to be an up and coming. I mean, he's in the wave of the future set. He's got to be a big star. Well, little did I know, because I didn't follow baseball on the internet like I do now, that Domingo wasn't even playing for the Yankees at this point when these cards came out. These cards were after the fact, so to speak, when he made his major league debut in the majors. So I actually have a 90s minor league box of minor league cards, and I had a nice stack of Domingo's cards in that box, and I found his address, saw that he was signing, and decided to stick a few in the mail. So very happy to finally get these almost 25 years after the fact, and happy to get these, well, more than 25 years actually, almost 30 years actually, more than 25, but very happy to get these signed and add them to my collection of my 90s minor leaguers. So thank you, Domingo, and we'll move on to the next person. All right, so this next one is postmarked from Connecticut, and it is a return from former Seattle Mariner Dave Fleming on 1, 2, 3, and 4. I've actually written Dave before, but I had a couple more, like I said, in that minor league box from the 1990s. So I decided to send those to Dave and ask him to sign them. So let me tell you about Dave and his career in baseball. Dave, a New York native, attended high school in New York as well, but later went on to play college baseball at the University of Georgia. Dave excelled at Georgia, and he went on to actually win the College World Series in 1990 as a pitcher on the pitching staff for that Georgia Bulldogs team. After winning the College World Series, that same year in 1990, he was also selected by the Seattle Mariners in the 3rd round of the draft. Well, in 1990, the Mariners assigned him to their single A affiliate, their high A affiliate, where he posted a 7-3 record in 12 games. The following year, he was promoted to Double A, which is that card right there, and between 2 stops, between Double A and Triple A, he posted a 12-6 record before the Mariners decided to call him up to the major leagues, where he made his major league debut on August 6, 1991. Well, his first game on the mound, he actually was in relief, and he just pitched 1/3 of an inning, but gave up no hits and got an out. He would have an opportunity to start 3 games in that 1991 season, and he would wind up posting a 1-0 record with a 6.62 ERA. Well, the following year in 1992, with very short time in the minors at this point, he made the Seattle Mariners starting staff. Dave would post 33 games started for the Mariners that year, posting a 17-10 record that year for Seattle. The following year, his starts would be cut down to 26 games after barring an injury, but would also make 4 appearances in their AAA affiliate. Well, going into 1994, things didn't go so well. In the strike-shortened season, Dave posted just a 7-11 record with a 6.46 ERA in 23 games. After going 29-15 those first 2 seasons with the Mariners, he began to struggle and had arm trouble. On the 7th of July of 1995, he was traded by the Mariners to the Kansas City Royals for veteran pitcher Bob Milacki. He pitched only 9 games for the Royals before undergoing surgery and basically ending his professional baseball career in the major leagues. Well, Fleming would try to come back after his, shoulder problems and such, and he would bounce. He basically sat out the entire 1996 season, but he would attempt to make a comeback in 1998 with both the Boston Red Sox and the Baltimore Orioles, where he would just pitch in a handful of games for both of those affiliates before finally hanging up the cleats and retiring from baseball. Well, Dave did move on to another venture after his career, and he actually wound up becoming a teacher. So Dave, as far as I know, is still a teacher in Connecticut, and he resides in Connecticut to this day and is a teacher unless he's retired from teaching. I don't know if he's at that point of his career or not, but Dave went on to educate young minds after his career in baseball. So very happy to add Dave to the collection, especially like getting these old Mother's Cookies cookie cards signed. If you remember these from the 1990s. I had a few of those laying around, so this is actually like the second or third card I've gotten signed out of that set. So very happy to profile Dave and thank him for signing my cards for me. Alright, so this final one is not going to come as a shock to a lot of the TTM community because I saw a lot of people getting this guy back recently. But I want to give him justice for signing my cards because I saw other people getting them, so I wrote them too. And this is by far one of my favorite players, probably from that era, from the same area as Domingo and Dave. And I am talking about the great World Series champion of the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees and former Kansas City Royal, Johnny Damon. Yes, I got on the Johnny Damon bandwagon and wrote him as well. Well, one of the things that Mr. Damon asked you to do, at least he did with my request, was he included this card with the autographs, asking you to tag him on Facebook. So I'm definitely going to do that after I shoot this video and profile him. But Damon was a great player for a long time. So I'm going to profile him for you and tell you all about his career and his importance to baseball and how great of a player he was. So let me tell you about Johnny Damon. Johnny Damon grew up in Orlando, Florida, where he attended high school in Orlando, Florida, and was discovered by the Kansas City Royals, making them their first round 35th overall pick in the 1992 draft. Well, Johnny was assigned to their rookie ball affiliate and their A affiliate his first year in the minors in 1992, and in 51 games, the left-handed hitting outfielder batted .347 that year. Well, the following year, the Royals promoted him to A-ball, where he spent the entire season in A-ball, where he posted a .290 batting average. By 1994, he was in High A, and in High A, in 119 games, he responded batting .316. Well, the following year, he was in Double A. They moved him up to Double A, and after 111 games, Johnny was batting .343 for the Royals Double A affiliate. Well, this didn't go unnoticed. On August 12th, 1995, Johnny Damon made his Major League debut. Well, in his Major League debut, he would never look back to the minors again. At 21 years old, against the Seattle Mariners, Johnny would compile, in his first game, 3 hits in 5 at-bats and 1 RBI. From here forward, we never looked back. Johnny would appear in 47 games to finish out the year for the Royals, posting a .282 batting average his first year. Not bad for a 21-year-old. Well, by the time next year rolled around in '96, the outfield position was his, and in his first full season, he posted a .271 batting average in 145 games for the Royals. Johnny would become a fixture of the Royals, being a top-of-the-order hitter. In the year 2000, he actually would steal 46 bases for them and bat .327. Well, as the Royals are known to do still to this day, Johnny was traded in the offseason in 2001 to the Oakland A's. It was actually a 3-team trade. The Tampa Bay Rays were involved. All-star like Roberto Hernandez, future Rookie of the Year Angel Baroa, former Rookie of the Year Ben Grieve, bunch of people moving around in that transaction in January. Well, Johnny would just finish that 1 year with Oakland, and then he would decide to go free agent. That year in Oakland, he would have a down season actually, just batting .256. Well, a change of scenery is exactly what Johnny needed. And in 2002, the Boston Red Sox signed Johnny Damon to a contract. Johnny would, in his first year in Boston, make the All-Star team in 2002, appearing in 154 games, batting a respectable .286. The following year in 2003, he would still be with the Red Sox, and in 2004, Johnny would be part of that historic World Series team of the Boston Red Sox, helping lead them to a World Series title. In 2005, Johnny would make his All-Star appearance for the second time in his career, and it's just amazing at this point that Johnny's only been in 2 All-Star games. And in his second All-Star season, he batted .316 and collected almost 200 hits, just shy at 197 for that year. And the Red Sox didn't repeat as champions, but they were heavy contenders. Well, in 2006, of all things, Johnny decided to declare for free agency and signed with the New York Yankees. Now, I am not an East Coast person. I know there's a rivalry between the Red Sox and the Yankees, but I can imagine this was not a popular move in Boston, or maybe even New York at that time, because they had very heated rivalries. Well, Johnny would spend the next 4 seasons with the Yankees, from 2006 to 2009, but the big important thing is Johnny would be part of another World Series championship playing for the New York Yankees. Well, after his tenure with the Yankees, Johnny would move on to a couple other teams. In 2010, he would play 1 season in Detroit. 2011, he would move back to Florida, play for his home state Tampa Bay Rays. But in 2012, he would finish out his career at the age of 38 years old, appearing in 64 games for the Cleveland Indians. So, in total, Johnny Damon played 18 years in the major leagues. The guy collected well over 2,000 hits for a grand total of 2,769 hits. He didn't get to the elusive 3,000 hits, but he was only an All-Star 2 times. And I've listened to Johnny a couple times on some podcasts and some YouTube videos, and he just feels like he should have been in a few more All-Star games, and I totally agree with him on that. And to put this in perspective, Johnny very well could argue to be one of the greatest of all time. And I hope one day that the writers, whoever gets the vote, recognizes Johnny's talents and puts him in the Hall of Fame, because Johnny played for the Royals, which was a small market team, but he also went to those organizations like the Red Sox and the Yankees. And if you talk to anybody that was a teammate of his, they only say that he made their team better. And if I'm not getting into all the stats, the WAR and all that stuff, but this guy was a catalyst for those two World Series title teams. I don't know what else to say. Hopefully Johnny gets in the Hall of Fame one day. I want to obviously have you visit his website here if you get a chance, the Johnny Damon Foundation. But I finally want to thank Johnny, not just Johnny for signing, but some other players from the 90s who also signed from me. Like I said, Dave Fleming was one of the top pitchers in baseball until he had the arm problems that he had. I mean, could you imagine a pitching staff with a 17-game winner like Fleming and, I don't know, that Randy Johnson guy? How much more successful Seattle might have been if Fleming wouldn't have got hurt. I also want to thank Domingo for signing, and although his career was very brief, I have a lot of Domingo cards in my collection. And again, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, Domingo. I did not intentionally mean to do that. But I want to thank you for taking the time for watching this, guys. And as always, happy collecting.